All right. Sorry about the delay. I tried to grab baby, but honestly, I feel bad because he just looks so cozy. Um, man, what's up, everyone? Happy 2026. Yeah, I gotta show you some proof. Okay, I'll bring him out later when he's not cozy anymore. But like, look at this. He just he looks way too comfortable. He's in this little cubby. Um, so I don't know. I just didn't want to disturb him. He looks so cute in there. But anyways, what's up, everyone? Cindy, I'll bring him out a little bit later in the stream, maybe towards the end or so. Vacation adventure thing was much needed. Yo, thank you so much for all the gifted subs. Why so cold? That was really kind of you. Good way to start off the new year. What's up, JCN and Euler? You guys are now subscribed thanks to Why So Cold, DJ Magic Mikey, Brownie Music, Andy Music. Thank you, Why So Cold. Yeah, no, it was great. We were in a cabin in the middle of nowhere. Listened to music, ate like our charcuterie boards and fresh baked sourdough, and drank wine, and no, it was just great. It's nice to be away from like too much stimulus, just like screens, and just hang out with my fiance and just talk, listen to music, hang out, chill. And we were in this basically in a forest in a tiny home, and even though it was snowing the entire time we were there, it was really beautiful and very relaxing. It actually kind of made it a little bit more charming, even though it was really hard to leave because my fiance's car it's not 4-wheel drive. It's not really like a great winter car. It's not very prepared for the winter times. But anyways, hope you guys had a decent New Year's yourselves. And we didn't even make it to midnight, by the way. We were up, I think sometime around like 8 a.m. or something. And then around 10, we were like, we kind of looked at each other. Yo, Estion, thank you for the sub. But we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, it's just the two of us. Like, what's the point of staying up until midnight and like forcing ourselves to go through this, like, I don't know, this celebratory process when it's just the two of us. We're just like, whatever, let's go to bed. Anyways, y'all, so it is Friday, and it won't be a super long stream today, but I'll go until about 3:30, so you guys know the drill. !join if you got something for me to listen to. But otherwise I'll just be sitting here chatting, maybe playing a little bit of piano. We'll see. But thanks, Junie. Appreciate you using that Nightbot command. Let me double check and make sure everything's looking good there. Oh, it does look like it's working just fine. Imagine if one of the artists that sent the track here was signed on Monster Cat. I like how you use the sub to bump the artist you work with. Hey, listen, I understand how it is. I'm pretty excited though. Bellic is super talented, so I'm really happy that he's got a track coming out on Monster Cat. Yes, time to listen to some bangers. I agree. Just giving my wrist a quick little stretch here. This one was on this stream specifically, so you blessed it. Hey, you're not wrong. I'm not knocking you. I appreciate that you you want more people to hear Bellic stuff. But anyways, okay, let me switch over here. Let's get this started. All right. New subscriber. What's up, Eidolon? Thank you for the sub. 11 months. Hey, we're getting to our subscription anniversary soon. All right. Yeah, 5 people. 20% chance. Let's go. I enjoy the message. Me too. All right, Noxel. We'll start things off. I did get like a little bit sick. I don't know if you guys did too. Over the holidays. I think being around a bunch of people kind of does that. I'm sorry, you can skip me this time. No worries. All good. Looks like we have a few more people that joined here. Let's roll on to the next person. Opal wins. What's up? Good to see you here. Here I am. All right, let's check this out. First track of 2026. Let's check it out. Another one from the album, I see. This one leads into the title track. Cool. Kind of a sentimental ambient intro. Released or unreleased works, whatever you prefer. A little formant lead. Yeah, I guess it's Feedback Fridays after all. That doesn't specify unreleased or released. Got a little bit of a Celtic vibe. Some Reese's. Curious if you're gonna have another drum and bass style drop at all, or if it's just gonna remain percussionless. is Kai. If you want to join raffle for a feedback session, you can just type in !join. Definitely feels like a score. By the way, y'all, just as a heads up, when I'm doing Feedback Fridays, I prefer not to skip songs. So I do my best to listen to everything that's submitted from beginning to end. Very cool. I liked it. I think that obviously it functions as kind of like this I don't know, brooding, sentimental interlude piece, and I like it. I'm trying to think about what kind of feedback to give you. It's got a nice ebb and flow. Obviously there's that melody that kind of sticks with you the most. Something like that. But yeah, I think outside of that, I wonder if there was room for a little more. Right now, it feels a little bit, and this could be perfectly intentional because I know this is an interlude song, so yeah, this could be intentional. But I was kind of thinking that there could have been room for a little more processing or a little more like sound design, flares. Like it felt a little bit like these kind of like, I don't know, somewhere around like 5 to 10 main layers of compositional layers that are kind of like drifting in and out, with some of them kind of taking the spotlight at different times, very kind of fluid, and nothing wrong with that. But I think I would have liked to hear maybe just a little more editing and sound design that's kind of like, that goes beyond, maybe like EQing, filtering, reverb, delays, and that kind of stuff. Obviously, I did hear the Reese in there as well. But I think there was maybe potentially room for a little more like world building, kind of like ear candy, like little things and Foley and things like that, to kind of like make it more immersive and feel less like these gently processed library patches and such. But regardless, I mean, that's kind of like the only thing that pops to my mind. So I really like it, and there's some really great tracks on that album. So thank you so much for sharing. Really appreciate it. But yeah, since that was the longer piece, I'm just gonna roll on right to the next person. Let's see who else we got. What's up, Eidolon? What happened to your what is your profile image now? Is it a new character you came up with, or what is this? Don't worry about it. Touche. I caught me being nosy. I see how it is. Okay, what do we got here? Wait, why did I just Google search that link? Huh? What is going on here? Oh. Here we go. Eidolon Slacker. I like the perspective of this art. Nice. Cool. I like the gradual reduction of BPM at the end there. Nice. It's a cool tune. Good arrangement. Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff going on here. I think I'm trying to think about it. What kind of? I think the biggest things that stood out to me in terms of what could be improved. I don't listen to a ton of melodic dubstep, let alone dubstep in general these days. I mean, obviously being in the electronic music world, I hear it regardless of whether I'm intentionally searching for it or not all the time. So I consume it in a different way. I don't really purposefully go out of my way to listen to dubstep. But I feel like since this is obviously kind of in that space, I think that the feedback that I'm thinking of is more so in terms of the mix down. I feel like there might be there's the mix down, and then I think that the momentum, the way you're carrying energy over into and from different sections, I think are the two main pieces for me that are missing a little bit. The arrangement, the songwriting, and the sound design, I think is great. But yeah, I think that those two are the big things in my mind. I think that I just feel like based on what I've heard over the last few years, uh it basically, I feel like the norm is to just basically be super ADD about people's attention spans and like kind of coddle the listener a little bit and be like, no, no, don't look away, don't stop listening to this, and just keep throwing shit at them, just be like, here's a sample of this, here's a sample of that, and that's I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, that that's not in, like, not as prevalent in, like, your song here, but if that's kind of like a standard that you're hoping to meet, then that's there might be a bit of a gap there, is all I'm trying to say. And if that difference is intentional and you don't want to make melodic dubstep that's that I guess like intense in terms of like demanding the listener's attention, then perfect. You are you're in a good spot. So that's one thing in terms of like I don't know, just the genre, what's normal in the genre, I feel like these days. So, but that, it doesn't necessarily have to be done in like a cheesy way either, by the way. It can be like, more switch ups in terms of like sound design, and more edits and ear candy, and like that's kind of where I feel like a lot of that music has gone, like melodic dubstep and dubstep in general is, I don't know, at least from what I can tell. That being said, the only other thing, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, dynamics. I feel like the standards have definitely. It depends. Like I think that some melodic dubstep, maybe with like top lines, can be treated a little bit differently. Where a lot of the more dynamic songs in EDM will have, or can have, almost require like a bigger dynamic range in order to not like completely destroy vocals. But it's not always true. But I feel like I might be wrong on this, but I do think that there might be a little bit too much of a dynamic range in the song. And it could have probably benefited from just kind of like, just in general being a little bit more, like flattened out. I don't really have a good reference off the top of my head. I mean, I feel like it'd be interesting to compare it to some of the like big dogs in the melodic bass world, like maybe somebody like Virtual Riot or something, and like A and B, like a reference, because it's possible that I'm off, but that's the only other thing I noticed. So yeah, anyways, really good arrangement and writing, and like I feel like those are the only two things I could think of that maybe could have helped the track a little bit. I'm always torn between having more energy drops and leading into the more calm melodic stuff. Yeah, well, maybe that's something that honestly that's really tough when it comes to writing music that's in a very rigorously structured form of music. It's I'm not saying you can't get creative in dubstep, but the form in which creativity takes shape is obviously very limited. It's like, it's supposed to be, loud, energetic, and, builds and drops. And it's like, yeah, I mean, if you, just as an extreme example, if you have like, a 5-minute intro to your song with a drop, I mean, hey, if the drop is good enough, people will obviously listen to it and they'll take a clip and make TikToks to it or whatever, make reels to it, and it'll still go viral. But like, it obviously impacts the listening experience a lot, to take the wrong creative approach, if that makes sense. I don't know. There is no wrong approach at the end of the day, so just keep that in mind. Like I know my ethos with music is always that it's purely subjective, but there are expectations and standards from a listener's perspective, like from like the average listener that's consuming like X genre, you know, which I feel like in electronic music is very kind of clicky in a way, like almost like I don't know, more so I feel like than in some other genres, or maybe they're all like that. You know, I don't know. I'm just blabbering at this point, but either way, thanks for sharing. It's a really cool tune, and hopefully that gives you some food for thought. Let's roll on to the next person. Maybe it's also weird that I listen to bass music just because I enjoy it, not because I'm raving 24/7. Totally, that's fair. But there's nothing wrong with it. Like I said. What's up, Josta Music? Did you literally just enter and won the raffle? That's crazy. That's some luck right there. Actually rigged. I just popped in. Do you have something for us to listen to? Listen, I'm sorry, y'all. This is I'm trying to play it fair by making the raffle random, but stuff like this will happen on occasion. Just it's okay if you don't have anything right now. We can skip on to someone else and come back to you. I'm watching an ad. Oh, okay. All right. Give me a sec. Yeah, you're good. You're good. If you need a little bit of time, wait, he's watching an ad. He doesn't know we're talking about him. Quick, say something bad about Josta before he comes back. Anyways, we're all saying we're really excited to listen to what you have for us to listen to. Let's check it out. Okay, one more ad. Damn. Here we go. This is track by Josta. Got Stupid, Part 1.
Dreaming of times when you and I were dancing in the rain.
What?
Very cool. I already like it. Are we switching BPMs here? Very good. Very cool. Yeah, I like it. Reminds me of like, I don't know, something you'd stumble upon on SoundCloud like 2015. And I mean that in a great way. I like it a lot. It's cool. It's got a good amount of energy behind it, but it feels very very unique. It's not really it's somewhere between like hip hop and maybe like future bass, something like that. All the samples, like the strings and such, are cool. I like some of the vocal chops actually remind me a little bit of like Galimatias. I feel like he does. I guess it's probably leaning more towards future bass than hip hop beat, but either way, it's really cool. I'm a sucker for songs that have like a lot of negative space, so yeah. So I like the structure. I feel like works pretty well. It doesn't feel short, 2 minutes and 40 seconds feels like a good length for this idea. I think the one place where you lost me a little bit is right around here. I totally get what you're going for. I think the idea is there, but it feels a little bit too barren. I think if you're gonna have sounds that exposed, they need to be they need to feel really like they're worth demanding that attention. Like there's like a lot of care and detail being put into those sounds, and I feel like they don't quite warrant being that empty, if that makes sense. And I think there's even if I don't know exactly what I was trying to say there, but it just, I feel like the sounds just weren't like not tight enough to kind of warrant being there. But then even if they were, I think there's still some room for just a tiny bit more happening there. It feels like just a tiny bit too empty. Maybe it's because in contrast to this section, I totally understand the idea is to contrast with this. So, you want to slowly build back into another quote unquote drop. You have a drop here. And then, you're kind of bringing the beat back in here without, all of that energy from there. Which I get it. It's great. It makes sense. So this is kind of like the next moment of kind of like arrival and like another kind of climactic point in the song. So obviously this all makes the experience worth it in the end. So that's why I'm not gonna really harp on that too much. But I do feel like you might lose some listeners there a tiny bit. But yeah, it does have some Galimatias vibes to it. I feel like it's got a little bit of like a old Galimatias style. I don't know if you listen to him at all, but he might actually be a really great reference because man, his sound design is so unique, and he plays around with these sound characteristics and qualities from hip hop and a little bit of future bass, maybe not too much of that, but a little bit of that flavor. And he has like this pop sensibility to a lot of his tracks too. And his vocal chops are really, really nice. He could be a good reference point for mixing and just general like arrangement and flow and that kind of stuff. But either way, yeah, thanks for sharing. Let's roll on to the next person. I will do my best. I know I kind of get carried away sometimes giving feedback, but I just want to, I don't want to skimp on thoughts that I'm having. I get kind of like, I enjoy it. I enjoy sharing thoughts. So, but I'll try to get through everyone that's here. Let's keep moving. What's up, Telling Tales? What you got for us here? Okay, so I'm getting some mixed signals in terms of the key. Cool. It's a good idea. I'm gonna tell you the biggest issue that I have with it is that it doesn't feel like you know exactly what the chord progression is that you're playing in different sections of the song. I like the vibe. I like I like the arrangement. A lot of cool stuff going on. The vocal chops, etc., etc. But yeah, it feels. Here's what I would recommend to you. If you're not super familiar, let's say like with music theory and that kind of stuff, it would be helpful to go through each main portion of the song where you have like, let's say like a four, whatever your chord progression is. It's not necessarily 4 chords, but you know, in the intro, let's go back to the intro briefly. There's already some conflicting information going on here. So you have... Hey, what's up, Art Nerd? Thank you so much for the sub. Happy New Year. Glad to have you here. So the intro is kind of like implying, and you do have that the B flat as the root note. So it could be like okay, so it sounds like you're in Mixolydian. So it's B flat Mixolydian. I personally feel that okay, real quick, back to my note about like what might be helpful. It seems to me that throughout the track there are just some places where some sounds are not quite in key with what is with the rest of the track. So I don't think that's necessarily 100% the case in this section, but it sounds like the writing feels a little bit confusing in a way. Mixolydian is not generally a key that you hear too much music being written in. Because that flat 7 is a very distinct sound. I kind of personally feel that if you're gonna go that route, it would be helpful to have more harmonic information with another layer in there. It feels like maybe there's some pad in the background that is not in key. I'm just getting something in the background is kind of confusing me a little bit. And I could be wrong, but either way, I think that if you're gonna play around with that Mixolydian kind of thing, it might be nice to like I said, have some kind of like a pad, a chord that's kind of like in those mid-range frequencies that can help guide the listener around a little bit. I think you're kind of basically playing around with the B as the tonic, and I'm hearing some F in there as well. So whatever the chord progression is, it just, I think, needs to be a little more audible. Hold on. And I think that the low end being a sub is making it more confusing as well, because the sub is mostly audible. Well, yeah, it's a sub, so it's only audible in the lower frequencies, and it's kind of dancing around. So it's there, and instead of kind of like grounding the chord progression, it's kind of like a little bit like causing a little bit of confusion. So I just want you to kind of like own in on what the chord progression is for each section of the song, and make sure that all elements are kind of like built around that. Because once we get over here, it gets even more confusing, because then you have these synths with these harmonic overtones that are kind of like adding even more chord extensions that feel like don't quite make sense in the context of the song. So, okay, if I were to give it, let's say, a more specific suggestion with this section, for example, I can see the bass line is now playing something a little bit more predictable. So it's kind of going like the B flat to F, and then to G, and then to C. So if you're in let's say, for example, B flat Mixolydian, then I would try to do something like, obviously, the 1. Ooh, actually a minor would be kind of cool there. Kind of a Moby style. But you have a major there, obviously, so it goes like B flat, like the 1, and then G minor, C minor. So it'd be B flat major, 7, and then F major, which I guess would also be Mixolydian, I suppose, or sorry, dominant 5. And then you'd have G minor and C minor. So I would just, let's say, for example, that section, I would just own in on, are all the sounds actually playing those, the notes for those chords at the right time. But anyways, I know I've kind of harped on about this. Either way, I like the vibe. I like where you're going with this, and it feels very like wholesome and uplifting, like something you might hear. The beginning of this was kind of giving me like end credits of like an anime episode type vibes or something. But anyways, thank you so much for sharing. I'm not sure how well. I would just suggest maybe some music theory basics could be helpful in that regard. But either way, that could be something really helpful to take a deeper dive into. If you can't fix it, that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. It still has a vibe. It still you know, has a feel to it. I do think that it would be really helpful to in the long run in general, you'll probably be better off if you understand a bit more about key signatures and because it's a big part about communicating emotion in a way that people will understand and connect with. Is like if you're going out of key in the wrong places, it can either be really cool or it could be very confusing, and it can throw people off from the intention that you have with a song. But either ways, that's all I got for you for now. So thanks for sharing. What's up, Why So Cold? Thank you again for those subs earlier. Yeah, for sure. You're welcome. All right, what do we got here? Ooh. Classic. This track was huge when it came out. Yo, what's up, Chairboard? You got a question? Cool. I think that first of all, I know you're a great producer, and I do feel like it's an interesting approach to try to speed this up into a garage type bootleg. That being said, I'm not super convinced by. I know you said it's your first time working on like a major key. I think like you have some of the foundations to an interesting bootleg here, but yeah, I'm not completely convinced by the drop. And I think that part of the energy from the original comes from that sax repeating on the 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? It almost is like you know how in breakdowns in metal you have like that crash kind of like keeping you just counting out like a metronome. You know, it's kind of like it's almost like replacing that crash and then like filling in the space with like, you know, 808s and other sound design. And I thought that was really cool. That being said, it sounds like you kind of are keeping that true for this in some shape or form. Dun, dun, dun. You know, kind of like I see what you're doing. You have like the riff there, and it's slightly rearranged. I think Yeah, and I see you have like the bass sounds very similar compared to the original. I'm pretty sure. Um, it's not quite clicking for me. I think one thing that came to my mind is that I wonder what this would sound like if you had like kind of like some of those negative space breaks in there, and instead of having like that sax riff repeating as quickly, I'd be curious if it was half as fast, like da 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 I think that rhythmically would it would still stay true to the original while kind of switching it up in just like genre wise. But B, I think it would also just flow a little bit better if the emphasis melodically and like the rhythm of the melody was da 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 da. But I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I'm not sure if that's actually helpful or not. I just personally felt that like maybe it's a little bit of what do you call it, like demo love. I do like the original, so maybe I'm too attached to it to like be hearing it in this format. But either way, I think it's really well done. It's well produced, and I really appreciate you sharing it. But yeah, let's roll on to the next person. Thanks again for sharing that. Wait, did I miss a question from Chairboard, or did he just redeem that and then just not ask me anything? I hope Chairboard is in a safe place. What's up, Selvarki? How's it going? You have won. Yeah, redeemed and dipped. It's an interesting move. A man of mystery. Chairboard does have some bizarre questions. I remember, he asked me something that I literally couldn't even understand what he was trying to say to me. All right, this is Tell Me by Selvarki.
Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why.
Giving me sorrow vibes. AI vocals, we're gonna have a chat about that. Yeah, it's I like the production a lot. I'm not gonna go too into detail about this right now, but AI has become obviously an increasingly prevalent topic on Feedback Fridays. I have my thoughts and feelings about it. Everybody does, and I don't know. There are some use cases where I can understand specific uses, but most of the time, I don't recommend it. I wouldn't do it. And we can get into detail about that.
Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real? Or just the way I feel? Tell me why. Tell me, is it real?
right, you could. But if this is Suno, especially if it's Suno, I have some specific thoughts that I'll share in a moment. I also really have to go to the bathroom. Oh, placeholder. Yeah. As a placeholder, I can understand. Got a really nice vibe. I like the little percussive bits, and the sound selection is nice. The mix is nice. I like the little percussive bits you got going. I think it's the 16th notes, right? 1, 2. Actually, might be 30 seconds in this BPM, but anyways, not super important. I think I like everything I heard from beginning to end. Nice intro. It's very gentle. It reminds me of, I think I already said this, but it does remind me of kind of like Sorrow. I feel like he was crushing it with this sound for a hot minute. I'm not sure if he's still releasing much regularly now, but in my mind, that's like the first artist that came up as a reference point. And his Foley work was always really good. I think him and Galmatias actually made a track together. Yeah, I mean, listen, I know everybody's talking about AI 24/7. And so I don't want to necessarily harp on something that is already an inescapable conversation. But, you know, I feel like it's important to just briefly address, and you said it's just a placeholder, totally get it. But, you know, it's just tough because, like, a vocal is something, it's a chance to do something really personal, right? And, like, I'm not saying you have to make everything from scratch, right? Like, I've already talked about this at length myself. You know, if this is, for example, a way to create like a little demo and be like, hey, this is kind of like the vibe I'm hoping to go for, and like shopping it off to like vocalists and be like, hey, could you, do you think you'd be able to do something like this? Or, you know, I mean, in a way, Splice is probably still a better option. But that being said, you know, if I don't know what process you use in order to get the vocal. So, for example, with Suno, their terms of service, even if you're paying them, you know, just by like uploading your track and saying like, you know, I don't know, sing me a vocal or something. I mean, they have every right to use what you have then uploaded. They can use that as training data. They can, I don't know if this is something you care about. I do care about it. I've never uploaded anything that I've made myself to Suno, and you know, protecting your art, I think is valuable. You know, it depends, right? Like, if you care about, you know, your craft and your voice, and you want a long-term career as a creative, and you will be creating music for your whole life, I don't see why you would give a company like, you know, I'm not saying you did use Suno, I don't know what you used, but you know, I think there's a lot of value in not relying on services like that because of those types of terms that they have. And I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it is an inescapable reality. A lot of people feel like they have to get with the times, and, you know, to keep up with the output or whatever of like, you know, these people that are using AI. You know, we got to cut all these corners. You know, got to do it faster. Got to make it quicker. You know, got to make it sound more professional, quicker, faster, better. And it's just like, okay, but you know, what does it mean to you? Like, what is your relationship with your creative process, and how is it, what place is it fulfilling in that, right? Because like, I think if, you know, your primary point and relationship with music is, let's say to, I don't know, create uh, a product, then I feel like AI tools and those kind of things are going to become much more appealing to you, because you're going to think of it in terms of like saving time and increasing, how much money you could potentially make, versus if your thought process behind creating music is like, I want to, discover more things about myself. I want to express myself. I want to learn. I want to explore through music. There's a lot of different ways to do that, by the way. And I'm not trying to make this a binary thing. Like, this is a complicated topic. There's a big spectrum of where people fall on this, right? So, I'm not trying to make it sound like, oh my God, like you used AI, throw them in the fiery pits of hell. Like, I'm not trying to sound super binary here, but like, it is complicated, but at the same time, like, I would just encourage you to be careful with what services you're using, first of all, and also how that changes your relationship with your music. Because, like, why not use your own voice for a demo? People have done that. People have gotten by just fine writing incredible music, obviously, quickly, mind you. Maybe not in like the span of like writing one prompt in like a few seconds quick, but like, it's not I understand the temptation, but a part of me is also like, well, why not? I don't know, why not try to just throw your vocal through a voice note recording from your iPhone in there and just like melodyne it, like just tune it. It's actually not hard. It's actually really fun. Like, you can find a lot of interesting things out in that process, and that's kind of like part of my point, is that yeah, I totally understand. I'm going off on a pretty big tangent here. This isn't really feedback related to your song specifically. It's tangential to that, so it's still related in a way, because like, if you're coming here and sharing your music on my stream, I don't want to just like, I don't know. I want to treat you like a human being who's coming to me for some thoughts on like what you're creating. And so that's how I'm going to approach it. And that's just some of my thoughts on on your idea. So I'm sorry if that came across as a I don't know, judgmental. It's quite the opposite. It's more just that like, I encourage people who are interested in taking their music seriously, especially these days, man. I don't like, I never had to really make that decision. Now, of course, AI is an option, but I grew up without ever even having to think about using AI, right? So like, I can get how like, if you're up and coming, the temptation would be really great, because it's like, oh wow, look at this, $8 a month, and like you get these results like that, right? But it's very it's obviously a very, in my opinion, short-sighted approach if you care about art on a level that's deeper than just kind of like creating product. So I think yeah, that's what I think. Anyways, sorry. The question is, does the track really need this type of vocal? Hey, that's up to you, man. It's your music, and I think, I don't have to, by the way, I don't have to shit on AI output in order to criticize it, right? Because at the end of the day, you can objectively listen to that and be like, oh, that sounds like a beautifully sung vocal. A lot of people would probably enjoy it and say it feels like it's contributing something valuable to the song. And obviously, AIs are only trained, as far as I know, like Suno and stuff like that. I mean, they're just trained on like human creations. So it's like, of course, it's possible that these things are going to sound really good, and they're designed to sound good and convincing and quick and fast. And, so I will be fooled, I'm sure. If you hadn't mentioned, by the way, that this was an AI vocal, I don't know 100% that I would have been like, oh yeah, that's AI. To me, it sounded like possibly just like a splice top line that you could have just thrown in there, right? And I'm not always going to catch these things, but I don't think that makes me a hypocrite, because these algorithms and these large language models and this artificial intelligence that these companies are building and these people are building, it's incredible technology, right? I mean, it's very mind blowing, and I can understand and accept that while also criticizing without or like while also criticizing it. But anyways, okay, let's move on. Sorry about that rant. What's up, OMG? It's Guapo. I shit on it because it's just average. They lean towards specific genres. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know the experience. Honestly, I don't know what it's like. Maybe you can really fine tune it, make it very unique, but I don't know. Bako, there is an easy way to tell. I'm curious. Tell me. Terabor, you're here. Did you have a question? You redeemed a question, I feel like, a hot minute ago, and I don't know what it was. All right. Let's check this out. I'm excited. I feel like you always end up being involved in some really cool projects, Essian. Oh, no way. I didn't know that about the 15K spectrogram thing. Huh. Vocal. All right. Don't hate me, Ession, but since I don't have too much more time left here on the stream, I'm going to start just sharing some thoughts here. Because I can see it's 10 minutes long. So we're not going to get quite through all of that. But I really like the repetitiveness of that kind of like bass line. And yeah, I like the textures a lot. I like the groove. It's got kind of a very live feeling to it. It feels like you're in the room with band in the in recording space. I think I understand the vibe. A part of me is still kind of like tempted to want to add a little more harmonic content in there. I know it keeps evolving, even though the groove is pretty much the same. There's more and more stuff evolving, coming into shape. The vocals, now all these like other sounds and textures. It's really cool. I feel like it's a great tune to put on while you're maybe having a chill night with some friends and I don't know, having a glass of wine, chit-chatting about stuff. But yeah, sorry, I just want to make sure I'm giving other people a chance before the stream ends to listen to their stuff as well. So I hope you don't mind. But I really like it. Like I said, the only thing that, I mean, this isn't really feedback. It's more like an opinion-based thought. Maybe that's all that feedback really is. But I feel like I would just have loved to hear a little more, some like more jazzier extensions and stuff. I know that kind of like those fifths and fourths and stuff are there a lot, but I think it would have been maybe not even necessarily more extensions, but maybe like a little bit of messiness in some of the playing of the notes or something, or a little more like kind of like rhythmic variation. But anyways, just some random little stuff. As a piano player, obviously, some of that will come to mind. But yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing, man. Let's keep rolling. Maybe we can get through it totally D'Angelo. That's what I was thinking too. Question from Cheribor: can you show us your first digital song? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can do that at some point. I have to find it, but I don't know 100% exactly what the first one was, but I know the first one that I uploaded to Newgrounds. Oh god, it's terrible. Probably. I don't know. What's up, OMG? It's Guapo. We got time for maybe 2 more, hopefully. I like the chord progression. It feels maybe a little bit static. There's more room for things happening, I think. Cool, so I have some thoughts here, and I'm gonna already start, even though the track isn't quite over yet. Yeah, I like the chord progression. I like the kind of like general feeling of the track. I think the arrangement seems great too. I think really the most of the feedback I have just depends on how much you want to lean into kind of like I guess the more traditional formats for EDM based music, you know. Because I'll give you a quick example here. In the intro, right, you have kind of like... You have like this kind of like garage beat that's starting with the chord progression, playing with this maybe a couple different synths. I don't know exactly how many layers there are here, but it sounds cool. I like it. And then, you know, you have this more halftime based thing here. Switch. And in my mind, this feels like much more of a moment than this. So like this is kind of like maybe almost like a fake out intro where it kind of feels like, all right, things are kind of getting started. Not sure if this is the main kind of quote unquote drop or not, because if it is, it obviously feels a little bit lower energy compared to this area. That being said, I feel like the contrast should maybe be a little bit bigger. Like I feel like this kind of feels like the more of the main like climactic drop moment compared to this. So I think it'd be helpful if the you know, there's a bigger contrast in terms of like the sound design. Totally fine for the chord progression and everything like that to be the same. And there are differences, of course, but I think that like I would want it to just feel like a little bit more of a bigger moment, a bigger reveal. I also feel like I'm hearing more. I think there's a little bit of room for more variation in the like synth sound design, like the bass sound design. I'm kind of hearing like some peekaboo style, like whoa, like things like that are kind of thrown in there on occasion just to kind of switch things up and make sure it's not too static. And obviously these notes are like legato. These are just, you know, it's just, you know, so that can obviously get a little bit repetitive as a listener. And since you do have the same chord progression, essentially the same, it's not quite the same, but it's very similar enough to feel essentially the same. So it's yeah, tricky not to lose the interest of the listener in that case. So just some stuff to consider in the future. I like the switch up that you have like the like more of a garage style here, or not garage, sorry, like a breaks kind of thing. I also at times I was getting some like Lauren vibes a little bit, kind of like this dark, gritty, brooding sound that is in a lot of Lauren's music, and I think that some of that is it's very unique to, or fairly unique to him, but I don't know, I was just kind of hearing that style a little bit, so do with that what you will, but I enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing. All right, let's do one more, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Lauren mentioned, yeah, absolutely, of course. Need a new Lauren album for sure. I don't know why I'm a little bit surprised that you like Lauren Cherbour. I feel like your stuff is so high energy that like uh I wouldn't have expected you to have been like a L Lauren fan. But that being said, it's I don't know. It's not like music tastes have to strictly adhere to your music output, right? Uh, but yeah, what's up, Day Free? See you later, everybody. But we'll see. Day Free might be AFK. I'll give another couple seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, no message. Let's move on to the next person. Should be the last one for today. What's up? See, if you hadn't submitted Baco, you wouldn't have won the raffle. If you're here, that is. Told you to go for it. Here we are. The bot giveth and the bot taketh. He does indeed. Actually, this is something I'll look into some more. Okay, this is Impulse by Baco. Let's see what we got. Got a nice vibe. Nice textures there. Cool switch up. Kind of feels like trance meets lo-fi hip-hop kind of. I wouldn't say no man's land. I think there's definitely, I can think of some artists that feel adjacent to this. There's like a little bit of a I'm hearing some kind of more chill bass, like halftime bass music, like closey, kind of being close to this. There's also maybe some like, imagine if like Tycho made something like a little more trance influenced. I could hear something like this popping out of that, but either way, I really enjoyed it. So thanks for sharing. I don't really know that I have any feedback on this because like I feel like with like instrumental like I feel like the important things are all here. You know, like the mix feels it feels pleasant. The only thing I guess is that maybe the intro feels a tiny bit having heard the rest of the track, the intro feels a tiny bit underwhelming. I think maybe a more delicate setting on the on that synth in the beginning could be nice, like something that's a little bit lower on the cutoff, and then like slowly opening up, and then the percussion is nice. And, you know, the mix is good. Yeah, it's great. So I don't know. That was kind of like my main thought. It's just that intro could be a little more delicate. So yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for today, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out and showing me what you're working on. And I apologize if I go on too many elaborate rants on these feedback sessions. Sometimes something comes up and I have to just like give my extra like 2 cents. It's more like 3 cents. Could be like maybe up to 10 cents sometimes. Like I feel like whenever AI gets brought up, I can't help but just like throw some thoughts out there. And not that they haven't already been discussed or been considered, but I don't know. It's just a very real ongoing conversation at the moment. So sorry if that was if that's been turning into too much. But either way, I hope you guys had a solid New Year, and thanks for coming through. And I'll be back on Sunday for another stream. So appreciate it, y'all. Have a good one. I'll see you soon. And I'm running straight to the bathroom right now. Peace.